Do Over, Don't Television, Untitled Export just finished up my episode. I gave a bunch of gems on all different parts of the music industry, different things that you can listen to, learn, become a better artist. And like I said on the podcast, consultations are always free. So if you're watching this, tap in with us and see how we can help you become a better artist.
Just turned 16 finna sign the deal, so I caught the track, I'll go a vet. And bitch gon' say I'm young, but they gon' drop they drop, I got a check. And fucking with my Florida boy, got Florida hoes all on my jet. And I just landed Tallahassee in the lot with the slime man with a dread.
What's good, Do Over Don't? Purple World, episode 53. Today, we're here with a man. I've been trying to he's been trying to get in contact with me. I've been trying to get in contact with him, but busy people's shit and me just sucking at answering messages.
It happens.
Also, it happens to be his fucking birthday. Even though this will come out in a week, you guys are going to wish him a happy belated birthday. But Mr. Logan from Untitled Export.
Absolutely.
Give him a little rundown about who you are. Give him the Untitled Export rundown.
Absolutely.
This is I call it in every single podcast the superhero origin story. This is the tragic. This is the tragic part. This is when you get bit by the radioactive spider. So.
No, I mean, as of right now, Untitled Export is something far different than it was when it started. As of right now, it's a fully functioning music management marketing agency. In this room, there's 3 of the people that work with us out of the 19 that we have on staff, and we service the careers of about 300 artists a month and distribute music for 647 artists as of this morning through our video platform and our iOS app. It didn't always start off as that. I started off as a photographer, actually, and that kind of turned into a journey of just always wanting more because as a photographer, your income is very capped, right? Number one, there's always going to be somebody that's going to do it for cheaper. You know, you want $200 an hour. There's some kid that'll do it for $100 an hour just because he wants to get in the room. It's a lot of competition, and then photo quality is subjective. So what you think is a good photo, I think, and all the other people is 2 different things. And I think that because of that, I kind of noticed like that there's a real cap, you know what I mean, and how much I can earn with the camera. So, you know, I thought what's the next best thing is, you know, maybe I can step into the business side of things and transition into starting to handle bookings, features, promotional inquiries for artists, and that eventually transformed into me realizing that there was another cap, where with one artist, you know what I mean, you're kind of limited to what that one artist can earn, you know what I mean, and then I switched over in 2020 and opened the agency, and now, you know, there's no end in sight as far as the growth. We can take on, you know, as many artists that come our way. If we need to bring on more staff, we have the capability to do that. We have the facility in New Jersey, and, you know, I think it's been quite a challenging journey, you know what I mean, going through, you know, being a photographer, trying to be a manager, uprooting your life, moving down to New Jersey from Massachusetts. You know, there's a lot of things, and I've told the full story, you know, a couple of different times. I don't want to air out anybody's business. I'm trying to get beyond that. But I had a falling out with the artist that I was working with that catapulted me into the position that I'm in today. And, you know, I think that Untitled Export Management has so much growth potential just due to the fact that we're focused on education and information more than we are selling services. We really want to come out and make a change in the industry and give these people the knowledge to do the right thing, whether it's hire us, run the ad on their own, promote themselves on their own. As long as we can inspire change in these artists to do better with their careers and have a better chance, that's all we can really ask.
Bro, I got to say right off rip, this is already the most well-spoken guest I've had. You are already the most well-spoken guest that I have, but also, too, like I always say, I don't like to look too much into people. Right. I like to more just literally, like I was saying, just sit down and have a conversation.
Exactly.
With them. And just hearing all of that shit, holy fuck. Yeah. You got the whole fucking 9 miles. Talk about a superhero origin story. What the fuck, bro? You've been through the ringer, it sounds like.
And even right now, like while we're sitting here, like this office is beautiful.
I'm not trying to distract you, but I'm going on my phone to turn the LEDs on because I
good.
just realized they're not on.
But even like we were just talking in the other room, like I have an office that about the same size as this, but mine right now, all the walls are flood cut. You know what I mean? So I don't know if those who don't know what flood cut is, but when you have a water leak in a facility or whatever, you have to cut the walls. I don't know if the camera looks over here, but you have to cut the walls up to like right here.
Damn.
On all the sides to take out any type of mold or water infestation. Damn. So my whole place is fucked right now. You know what I mean? But it doesn't stop me from continuing to push forward. And that's just this month's problem. And what I've noticed, the biggest thing when it comes to owning a business and when it comes to being in the music industry or any industry, the music business really, because it's a business more than anything else. I think that the biggest thing is just me noticing and looking back on the last 36 months since we started this business, because our 3-year anniversary will be on June 1st. We just had our 1,000-day anniversary of straight, everyday work. Thank you.
That's fucking fire.
No, that like a lot of people probably don't like it. That probably goes over a lot of people's heads. Like that's like
but
there
that's
was really
consistent
there
as
was
fuck,
really
bro.
like 1,000 days, and there's every person in this room can attest to the fact that I really. Like there was not a single day out of those 1,000 that they couldn't hear from me within 1 hour.
I believe it,
and I
bro.
think that at the end of the day, it's just realizing that throughout those 1,000 days, the problems when it was just me and Jack 1,000 days ago, it was like, how are we gonna, figure out how to convince this artist that we're not, that we know what we're doing. You know what I mean? That was the problem, is trying to convince people we knew what we were doing. Then the problem was trying to build the studio. Then there was a bunch of problems trying to build it. You know what I mean? Then there was a bunch of problems where we didn't build it right and we had to fix it. So it's like the problems just keep on going. And the way that I look at it is, if the problems keep getting bigger and I'm still able to handle them, then that means something must be, getting done right.
Have you ever read The Art of Not Giving a Fuck?
No. I've never read anything.
Really?
I mean, besides like I haven't.
You don't read books?
I haven't picked up a book since high school.
Bro, you gotta. If you're this smart already, you gotta get into reading. But this
A lot of
whole
people
book,
say that.
bro, you should. I'm telling you, like, reading changed my life. I used to be a fucking degenerate, and then I started reading, and I just got way smarter from it. But The Art of Not Giving a Fuck, the whole entire book, basically. Somebody asked me about what I learned from it, and I said it completely wrong. But the whole entire book is just about how life is picking your problems.
Yeah.
And it's like, you sit here, like, I'm relating to you with this, how you're talking about all the hardships that come with it. You get pissed sometimes in these certain circumstances. Like, you might be like, oh, I'm on a date. I have to pick up my fucking phone 15 times in this date, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Fucking when flood shit happens, whatever happens. But at the end of the day, you sit there and you're like, all right, I picked these problems.
Right.
Like, I could be sitting here and just have a boring-ass life and be problem-free.
Yeah.
But is that what I want? And then it's
The way
just...
I always say is, you want me to, I could be at Amazon. You know what I mean? I could be punching the clock over at Amazon. And, obviously, like, to a point of you saying that I was well-spoken, it's obvious that if you put me in an Amazon warehouse, I could be the warehouse
Did you go to college?
In 2 years, for a year and a half. But not really.
Wait.
You know what I mean?
Did you go to college?
No, not really. I did, but I didn't finish.
You didn't finish? So
I
you
went to
dropped out?
Nichols College.
How long did you go for?
I went for 6 months. I was enrolled for a year and a half, but the last 12 months of it, I was anywhere but the campus. But I was convincing my parents that I still lived on campus, but I was really in New Jersey.
Bro. So, how'd you get so smart then? Or was it you were just always like this when you were younger?
No, I think that it's a lot of I think that tenacity is something that comes naturally within people. I don't think that there's anything that any human being can do to put tenacity into somebody. I would say I was born with that. I would say I picked up different skills from different places. So like when it comes to like, and I understand I was 10 minutes late today, but when it comes to stuff like time management, you know what I mean? Anything time management, crisis management, thinking on the fly, doing shit fast, I relate that. I did a JROTC, but not like a high school JROTC, like the ones that people make fun of on TikTok. Like it was an actual program through the Navy. You know what I mean? So the Navy has a program where you can join the Navy at like 13 years old, and you can be in this. It's called the United States Naval Sea Cadets, and you can be in the Sea Cadets until you're 18, and then when you join the Navy, you like when you join the military, I don't know if anybody knows anything about the military, you start off as E1, enlisted 1. When you go through Sea Cadets, if you enlist in the military, you start off as E3. So you skip 2 pay grades for doing your 4 years of JROTC the right, you know what I mean, the right way. And like we went on I went on a 2-week like recruit training, like when I was like 14 years old, bro? In Virginia. I went down to Virginia. Bro. My parents drove me and dropped me off in the barracks in Virginia. You know what I mean? And we woke up at 5 a.m. every day, did an hour of physical training outside. We got, dumbed down versions of real naval modules that people learn. We had real people from Navy, Marine Corps, whatever, come and train us on things. Nothing ridiculous or top secret or anything, but just like, how to start a fire, you know what I mean? How to get somewhere on time, how to take a shower in 60 seconds, you know what I mean? Like all these little pieces that I put together, I take that from the time management and punctuality. The business knowledge I take from going in, my dad has always owned his own business, and he is an electrician. He's a one-man van type of situation. So I would go out on the weekends with him in his van, and that's where I really learned, because he's like a master manipulator when it comes to the business and getting things done. So I kind of got to see how he was able to use certain situations to get things done. So I would put that with that, and then I also take my time in less fortunate areas of New Jersey that I lived in, like Patterson and my time at Passaic and in the Newark, Irvington area. I do think that you can't fully be a person of stature and a visionary and an influencer without understanding every piece of the culture, and that includes rich people to all the way down in the slums. If you don't understand why and how people live in this area all the way up to this area, you can never really relate to a customer or relate to anybody in any situation. You're only ever going to relate to certain people. So I think that having all these different experiences with all these different people in the past couple of years, and really the past since I was like 13, I've always been outgoing. And doing different things, even selling sneakers at 16, 17.
Bro, why is everyone, I'm sorry to cut you off, that's how I made money my whole entire middle school.
Selling
And
sneakers.
the past, how many people, Ryan? The past like fucking 4 guests that have came on. Same exact shit. But continue on, bro.
It's like, because at the end of the day, when that's like any kid's first want is going to be sports equipment if they're a sports player. If you're not a sports player, you're going to be a video game guy, right? If you're not a video game guy, what's left when you're in middle school and high school? Shoes, nice clothes. You think mom is going to buy you like that we were talking about the lobsters I'm wearing earlier. Yeah. You think mom was going to buy me a pair of $700 shoes when I was 14 years old? But you think if I'm going to go to the sneaker events, though, and I'm going to walk around with $100 Nikes, I'm going to look like an idiot. So I got to figure out how to, get some money, and sneakers was just easy. You know what I mean? You could still go to a sneaker show with like $1,000 in cash, and if you really got a mouthpiece on you, you know what I mean? You can talk somebody super down, throw some cash in their face, you know what I mean, and then take it, sell it for $100 more. Like, you could really do that shit, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I think it's the easiest, the first and easiest hustle. And I know a lot of people. I have 5 friends that I genuinely think have $1 million that all have it from like sneaker store related endeavors.
I'm not surprised.
You know what I mean? It's like, and it's crazy, and they turn it into a real business. And a lot of them 3 of them are from New Jersey. 1 of them's from up here. No, there's only 4 of them. 3 New Jersey and 1 from here. Yeah, it's crazy.
Bro, the sneaker resale game is insane.
Nah,
the sneaker
facts.
resale game is insane. If you were doing all of that though, I want to just know like the creative journey. When did that start? Because you said you were doing photography first.
So photography started with sneakers, obviously, kind of just because it was like at that time Instagram 2014, 15 was first like kicking. I guess it came out in 2013 or 2012. I don't know, but it was really kicking in 2015. That was when like you could post a bunch of hashtags and get like 100 likes on your post. You know what I mean? Now that shit doesn't happen anymore. But that was back then, so I was like, all right, next step is like, what are these guys doing? They're getting more likes, and they're getting free shoes because of Instagram, and they're da-da-da-da-da, so I want to try and build an Instagram. So I was taking shoe pictures. It didn't work. No traction on the shoe pictures at all. You know what I mean? No traction on the sneaker Instagram.
Were you taking them on a phone?
No, I've got a camera, DSLR camera, a Nikon D3300.
Oh, you started off on Nikon?
Yeah.
Did you change, or were you always Nikon?
Yeah, it's a Canon 60.
You changed your Canon?
60,
Bro,
yeah.
Because my friend Ken, he always had a Nikon, and he made Nikon pictures look fire, but everyone, like when I was first getting my first camera, everyone's like, don't get a Nikon.
No.
And everyone's like, Nikon is like impossible to use, and you have to be mad good to use a Nikon, apparently. So I'm shook. That was your first camera.
Yeah, Nikon D3300. And that turned into abandoned buildings and roofs. You know what I mean? Because if you remember, that was like a thing for a couple of years.
Were you making the videos?
No,
no. Bro, you should have made those videos.
No acrobats or anything like that.
You should have made
no
the
acrobatics
videos,
up there.
Ghost hunting in that bitch.
Nah, we did. I definitely have a lot of videos on my phone, of the inside of the building. But as far as like putting any videos out, we were just worried about taking the best, picture we possibly could. Like the insane asylum, or the school, not the insane asylum, the old school that's in Waltham.
I've heard of it.
The Waltham school. You been there before? What's it called? Do you remember? Damn.
I'd be scared of that.
It was lit though. I went there with some friends. It was a good time. That was the last abandoned place that I did, and that was probably in 2016.
You have any horror stories? Because I have like friends, bro, that have just told me crazy shit, and I just stayed away from abandoned buildings when I was young.
Nah, I don't really have any horror stories. I have a couple like close encounters with security. You know what I mean?
That's
but,
it. No creepy shit happening.
Nah, no weird shit. No police.
Damn.
You know what
I'm not even talking about police.
I got a funny story.
I'm talking about freaky stuff. If you got a funny one, tell me.
I got a funny one though. In this building in State Street. in Boston, there was this magnetic lock, right? And because back to the electrician thing, I knew how to disable a magnetic lock because it was just the little wire nuts. So I was like, all right, I took it off, disabled the magnetic lock, and opened the roof door. We went up. And he knows where this is going. That's why he's laughing. Because then our other friend went back up there 2 weeks later and got arrested for disabling the lock because they thought he did it at that time. And obviously he wasn't going to say that I did it 2 weeks ago. So he had to take that charge. He had to go to court and everything. They ended up letting him off because it wasn't him.
What the fuck, bro?
But yeah, that was the only real. That was really the only, and then no, you know what? On another similar roof in Boston on one night, it was me and the same guy and then another guy, and we were up on a roof and we came up to the roof. We were up there. It was like probably 10 o'clock at night, and then the two security guards came out of the roof door. And we had to like cat and mouse them to run by them and then sprint all the way down the fire escape, down all 50-something flights of stairs.
I'm surprised you ain't have no like scary encounters.
No, you would never catch me dead in there during the nighttime.
Oh, you wouldn't? Oh, that's why.
I'm not crazy.
Bro,
I'm unprotected. This is a time I didn't, you know what I mean? I'm not, what am I going to do? Take a box cutter out and try and stab a fiend up? You know what I mean?
Bro. No, because I've heard, bro, my friend doing
it's a lot of homeless, though. That's really all it is.
Yeah, I've just heard, like, weird shit. Like, I didn't believe in paranormal that real until some of the stories I heard of people going to abandoned buildings, bro. Like, I don't know. It could be the fiends, but it could. Probably is the fiends.
It's definitely the fiends.
Bro, there's some weird shit. They was there at some, like, all the lights were off, and then they went into this room, and there was, like, blood all over the wall.
Really?
There was, like, blood all over the wall, and I said, like, don't go up here.
Wow.
They go up there, and, like, the whole room was obviously power outs and shit abandoned. All the lights turned on.
Really?
All the lights turned on.
That's kind of crazy.
And then some, like, you know that fucking, like, tiptoe shit from the Insidious movie?
Yeah.
So some song like that comes on out of nowhere.
Jesus.
And it's, like, on a record player. You can hear the static and shit. And then they started hearing, like, banging and shit. So they run out. And then they said they went out and just, like, throughout the whole woods they could hear it. But there was mad more to the story that I'm just not remembering.
That's crazy. That's why I ain't going nowhere at night. If I need the lights to see, I'm not, you know what I mean? That's already
fuck that shit.
a wrong thing in the equation right there.
Bro, we're going to actually... I'm going to save the question, digging more into your story for after. What's your thoughts on all the paranormal shit, aliens, all that shit? I've been asking people this on podcasts.
Paranormal, not so much.
Aliens?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, the world is just too big. Bro. Not necessarily on like some, you know, UFO type time, but I think just, you know, the world is too big
for there not
to be anything else. Yeah. You know what I mean? And yeah, I don't know. I've never seen an alien. You know, I hope I never do.
Bro,
you know what I mean?
Pray not. I pray not.
That's why, you know, that's the reason. Like, but at the same time, like, I wouldn't want to live in an isolated like
area.
Yeah, you know,
we're the only thing.
Not too dense, but not to like. I wouldn't want to live in like 10 miles from society. You know what I mean? Like because of stuff like that. You know, because that's like in the cornfields and all that. Like I just wouldn't sign myself up for that.
Bro,
you know,
fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. I feel like. What is your thoughts then on all the shit that's been getting shot down? You don't think that's aliens? Because think about the past couple weeks, bro. There's been way too much shit
there was
just
definitely
happening.
a lot of stuff. I know that some people were saying it was some balloons, and then it was the UFO thing. But I think that at the end of the day, we don't find out for like 20 years when they go back and like declassify everything, and then so it's kind of we just gotta wait and see what happens.
How much do you think we actually know compared to what's out there?
We don't know anything. But somebody knows a lot.
Yeah.
You know? Because if you give too much information out, that's what causes people to panic.
Like, I was having that discussion on my podcast, the one that's coming out right before yours. Like, I feel like there's, you look at the Forbes list and stuff, you see all those people. There's probably people with way more money out there that we have no idea about. But even like the government and everything, you're telling me that these are actually the people that run the world. You could just find on Google every single one of them.
Right.
Like, there's so much shit, and then you just get into the
behind
whole...
the scenes people.
Bro, literally. And then you get into the whole thing, like we were talking about this last time. Everyone says the Big Bang started the world.
Yeah.
Okay, if that started the world, who came up with the names for all this shit?
Right.
Who came up with just the way that everything works? Like, nothing in life actually makes sense if you think about it. It's so weird.
And that's I don't know. That's why there's so many different conspiracy theories and so many different theories.
You a conspiracy theory dude?
To a certain extent.
How do you think the world started?
I don't know as far as what it could be, but you definitely I definitely am not prepping, you know what I mean? But I'm prepared in a way, you know, like got the legal firearms and everything, making sure that if the world ever does go down, I'm good to go. But
well, you got that
I'm not
Navy training
every day.
You got that Navy training. You'll be
right.
good. You'll be good.
It's not something that like I wake up every morning. I'm like, oh my god, like, is today gonna be the last day? But like, if it ever were, like, you know, we've all seen The Walking Dead. We all know what we would do. You know what I mean? We've all thought about what we would do if we woke up and it was all over. You know. Yeah. But outside of that, the majority of my time I just spend on progressing business and anything like that. If I start thinking like that, somebody's campaign will get fucked up. So I'll forget about somebody's marketing. You know.
You ever take time and think about how the world started?
No. I don't take time to think about much.
Yeah, just strictly business for the most part.
Strictly business. That was the thing with like that's the whole like no alcohol thing. You know what I mean? Yeah.
We gotta get back into this then. So, how did you go from the abandoned buildings to just working with artists in general?
So I credit that to guy Frank Manfredi. He's the first guy to ever give me a shot in anything music industry. He owns 4 venues in Rhode Island. Right at now, at this point, he owns 4 venues. When I met him, he only owned 1 venue. And it was the Strand, which was previously known as Lubo's Heartbreak Hotel and Roxy. And he basically started 20 or however many years ago as a security guard and then bought the venue, which I think is crazy.
What the fuck?
You know what I mean? Like,
that's
going
a
from
crazy
security
story
guard to buying the venue and then owning 4 more
I want to get him on a podcast here.
Yeah, honestly, because he's a real inspirational guy. He does 160-something shows a year between his venues. That's like one every other day.
Jesus
and it's not, and it's like maybe 10 of them are rap shows. It's like rock, you know, pop. Like he had the Sopranos last night, like the TV show. Like he had the actual Sopranos come and do like a speaking engagement at his venue last night. Tonight he has LMA, and it like boot up. I might go to that. But so I got into his venue with somebody named Scotty Pope, who was a musician at the time, who I reached out to do free photos. Spoke to him. He brought me into a Lil Yachty concert at the Strand, at that point, Lubo's Heartbreak Hotel. Frank just looked like somebody he knew. He looked important. I didn't know who he was, but I could tell by the chain he had on. I could tell by his watch. I could tell by his walk. You know what I mean? And his like how he presented himself, his image that he was in charge. So I approached him. I said, hey, listen, you know, I'm a photographer. Will you let me stay here and work for you for free? Whatever. And then flash forward a couple of days, you know, not a couple of days, but a couple of shows, and I was eventually brought on as the staff photographer for Lubo's. And then I did that for probably like 6 to 9 months. And then that was when I had transitioned over to working with the one artist. And then, you know, we had spent our time, and I had transitioned from being his photographer into his manager and everything. And that's where I learned all my experience going on different tours, meeting with different companies, MTV, you know, Revolt. And like that's there's the only people I haven't met that I really want to meet is like Drake, Kanye West.
Those are the 2 first names that popped in
my
head.
That's it. like even DJ Khaled, 50 Cent, like all these other big guys like Travis Scott and all them people, like I've seen all them people. You know what I mean? And just really for me, it's not about, a lot of people see these people and they want to be like, oh, I'm with Travis Scott, like making moves, like, oh, bro, let me get a pic with you. Like that's what most, I look like, all right, how's this guy's team moving? Who's his manager? Who's his security? I've seen that guy before. Why is that guy with this guy and this guy? What does he do? What can I do that I can work with this guy and this guy? And I'm just looking at all these different people and taking in as much data as I can. And then eventually when the pandemic hit, that was when everything had kind of transitioned over, just because, you know, money in the artist music and artist booking game was dead. So, you know, there was just no bookings, no features, no shows, you know, no nothing, you know, in the business world for music for probably like 6 months, you know, before things really picked back up. So I took that time to, you know, step to the side, build up Untitled Export management and bring it to the point where it's at today.
Damn. So how'd you go about finding artists then in the first place after that? Because did you just meet a bunch of people on tour and stuff and you already had an idea of a bunch of artists? Also, actually, you know what? I'm going to ask you that after. Yeah. I got a better question. Okay. Because my theory, or not even theory, it's like what I've heard everyone else say, and I learned this early on. If you want to work with people that are all the way up like that, the way you were talking about, oh, I see this person with that person. It's sort of like climbing a ladder. Right. Like a lot of people want to just be like, oh, like say Drake, for instance. Yes. They want to be like, oh, I'm going to hit Drake up. Drake's not going to fucking answer.
No, he's not.
But if you go work with the smallest dude in Drake's
Right.
camp, and then you get introduced to a person that's a little more up in Drake's
Right.
camp, and so on. Is that kind of your tactic of how you built a lot of the relationships earlier on? Not even
Yes and
necessarily,
no.
because it's not even necessarily intentionally. It kind of happens like by accident. But,
So I there on the side that you're talking about, that does happen.
Yeah.
More on the A&R like manager side. So like a tour manager, like an A&R, somebody that works with a select few artists, but it's still no more than like 5 or 10. I'm the dot connector. That's what I want to do. I want to put, if I meet you, I want to figure out how I can load your pockets with as much money as possible so I can get preferential treatment for myself and the people that I work with. So that way my artists, when I go at people, I'm coming with a backing of like, listen, yeah, I might need one of this at this time, but if it goes well, I have 1,000 other people that would buy it. And over a yearly basis, I have quite a few vendors that make tens of thousands of dollars just being in our network. And that's really what I'm trying to build. So I more so is looking at these people and saying, how does the money move? I was more concerned with the money necessarily than the relationships, because the relationships are all based on having a hot artist. You know what I mean? In this time, and as of right now, Untitled Export Management has one of the hottest young artists. With the marketing, we just got him signed over at Universal and LLC4 Records.
Who's that?
The kid, Sal No Lakin. So we
His
just
name- his
helped
name
him and
sounds
his
familiar.
management team kind of broker the deal over there, and then they brought us on. The label did as marketing advisors. And basically, now I'm kind of seeing that a lot of these relationships that I was trying to climb up the tree with money that maybe weren't answering the phone as much. Like there's one guy in particular, I'm not going to tell you his name, but there's one, I'll tell you later, but there's one guy in particular that I had hit up. I remember I sent him 6 text messages over the course of like 2 years trying to buy something from him that he had that not a lot of other people had. As a high ticket item. Would have been $4 to $5 grand I was put in his pocket. So it wasn't no small money. I seen him upstairs at Universal. Now he hits every day. Oh, you know what I mean? What's going on? Oh, how you doing? Oh, you need something? You need that now? Now I've already filled the position that I needed, and I don't need that anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like I like to work with people that will work with us and will accept the fact that we have such a large backing of artists behind us, and not just so look at like, all right, yeah, how hot is your hottest guy? You know what I mean? Because the only reason that the whole hot or not shit is because people want to broker record deals. They want to take a percentage of something for nothing. You know what I mean? So they want to, oh yeah, if he's hot, I'll do it because then I might get in front of somebody else, and then that might, you know, but they're gatekeepers, you know what I mean? And they're jaded because when you're climbing up the ladder, to your point earlier, nobody's going to reach their hand down and say, hey brother, come skip a couple rungs. You know, I've hit rung 6, 7, and 8 before. Like those ones is hard. Like come up to 9 with me. You know, nobody's going to do that. You know what I mean? Because they're jaded, because nobody did it for them, so they're not going to do it to anybody else. But that's why I do. Like the 3 people that you're seeing here, not a single one of them besides Darren, up until Darren, neither of the guys that were working for me had music industry experience. But it doesn't matter to me because I'm not looking to take advantage of people. I'm looking to build and grow with people. Darren is the first person we brought on that was a manager already. Jack was an artist before, no manager experience. Squid was in college, no manager experience. But we built together, and I said, hey, listen, come up the ladder. Like, let's go. Come up to my level, my rung. You know what I mean? Not fuck being under me. These guys are all of the same. There's nothing like, it's not, because a lot of people that do like, that own companies and shit and have like employees and have people that work with them, and I don't even like using the word employee because I think it
I hate
means
that word, bro.
it's like and I don't like coworker either because that sounds like something it's not. But I'm trying to, it's like, it's associate is usually the word that I end up going with. It's one of my associates because I think it sounds nice and professional. But with my associates, know that there's nothing that like they can't do that I can do, or I can't do that they can't do. And I don't come in and vulture shit. Like a lot of people that have agencies will kick the shitty customers down to their team. And when they see them get a big ticket customer, they're like, oh yeah, let me get that. Boom, nah, don't talk to him no more. You know what I mean? And then you never hear from him again. But at the end of the day, it's about the ladder, because now I have 3 more people that I'm bringing up the ladder that are going to then do the same for their people eventually. You know what I mean? They might have people that want to get put on whatever, and then I gave them the proper culture. Each one teach one is, I think, the phrase that people use. And that's what we're trying to do, is just change the negative stigma in the industry about, like, get it on your own. You know what I mean? Because there's no I in team. Yeah, there's an I in music, but there's no I in team music.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? So,
fact. I want to know because it's so rare to come by people that actually want to help other people. Like, that's the biggest thing. And it sucks, too, because especially, I'm sure, the position you're in where you've done a lot for people, it's even to you, like, I want to ask you this just on some genuine advice shit. How do you, like, maintain that sort of radar, I guess, of helping people, but also you've gone through so many times where you help people and it goes absolutely nowhere and you don't have the effort reciprocated? How do you sort of gauge who you want to put your effort into, and are you just sort of everyone you'll give a chance?
No, I mean anybody can get the effort once.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But repeat offenders, it gets to a point where I may have to, like, there's a couple customers in the past where they've asked for, like, just, you know, because we do free consultations, which a lot of people, this is to segue into that question, this is a big thing that a lot of me and my fellow peers that own music marketing businesses is a lot of them charge for the consultation because they say that when you charge for the consultation, that person will care, not necessarily that it's so much about the money, because a lot of them will give it to the artist for, like, oh, it's a $75 consultation fee, you know, that's basically a deposit on your services, which I personally don't see anything wrong with. A consultation fee when there's a bill at the end of it, you know, that's where it kind of gets a little bit like, you know, what are you really going for? You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, a lot of people will say that, oh, it brings you a more quality customer. But at the end of the day, like, it scares away more people than it brings in. So yeah, you might get, you know, 1 or 2 more quality customers because you got them to spend the money before talking to you. But, like, at the end of the day, if you really got the results that you say you do and you can really do what you say you do, why are you so concerned with not wasting your time with somebody that doesn't have money? If you work at the Apple store, you know how many times you'd waste your time with people talking about iPads and iPhones that are not going to buy them? You're at the Louis Vuitton store, you know how many times somebody's going to waste your time? It's just, I don't know why some people that do music think that their time is too good to be wasted, but that's just another thing that goes into it. You know, and I know that was off a little bit of a tangent. Can you bring it back to your original question?
Oh, no, I was just saying just in general, because, like, when you've put time into people and it's just gone absolutely nowhere.
Yeah. And I don't know. I'll give it to them again and again. You know, at the end of the day, what I always tell the team is, like, even my time in the position that I'm in, my time is worth nothing unless I make something of it. So right now I'm making something of my time. If I'm walking out of here and I'm, you know, driving to, you know, because we're going to the casino after this, we're going to go to Encore and check in up there. But it's like, while I'm driving up to the casino, my time's not worth anything when I'm driving the car. So if somebody wants to talk to me and ask me a couple questions, what the fuck do I care if they're going to do the business with her after? I would have just been sitting in the car doing nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not too good to answer somebody's message because that might be the difference between them wanting to do business with and not wanting to do business with me, because there's so many people that are in my position that want to get paid before they even discuss what they're going to do for the people. And I think that's wrong, personally. You know what I mean? I think that if you are that confident in your shit, pitch it, offer it, and let the customer come if they want it. You know what I mean? Don't have to coerce them with paid consultations, you know? And I think that, you know, it's just a stigma with the whole energy thing, you know, and it's one of those, like, oh, you know, he wasted my time, but, like, what is your time? You know what I mean? Like, what is your time really worth? Not you specifically, but like, at the end of the day, if you're not making something of it, what is it worth if you're sitting doing nothing? It's not worth anything. You're sitting and doing nothing. If you'd rather do that than be productive, that's a different thing. But don't say your time is worth something if you're sitting on the couch just not wanting to talk to somebody. You know what I mean?
100%. How do you balance your time?
I don't.
You seem like a busy ass dude.
I don't.
You don't at all? What's a typical day in the life of you like?
I usually get up around 7. Usually the first alarm goes off at 7 at that point.
You one of the dudes you got like 15 different alarms?
No, I got 2. I got 7 and 8. But what the thing is I came from waking up at 3 p.m., you know, when I was on the road and stuff. So I've worked myself down, you know, 1 p.m., 12, 11, 10. Most recently I went from 8, 9 to 7, 8. And then soon I'll go to 6, 7. Yeah. Probably in the summer I'll go to 6, 7. Damn. And, you know, the first alarm is up at 7. And I'll get up, use the bathroom. If there's nothing like insane on the phone, I'll just go back to sleep. You know what I mean? You know, snooze a couple times. And then some point between 7:30 and 8, that's when like the business will start rushing in for the day. People will start, you know, hitting me up and everything. Get out of bed around 8, get in the shower, done, showered and everything before 8:30, out of the house 9. Really before 9, honestly, like 8:45 most days. Now, then that's where it depends on the day. So day A is my office 4 minutes up the road from my house, but obviously that's under construction right now. So we've been going on day B since March 2nd, which is drive an hour to New York City. Damn. Day A ended at 5:30. you know, and then anybody that was still texting me after 5:30, I would do it on the phone, but no meetings, no in-person meetings, and no Zooms or anything past 5:30 p.m. When I was in my office, just because if I'm there from 9 to 5, it's almost like that's the one part where I'll really be strict with an artist, is that I will not speak to a random person at 9 o'clock at night. If you're a paying customer, you get me 24/7, you know what I mean? But I'm not hopping on a Zoom at 9 o'clock at night. Like you can find some time in my office hours. It's still free. It's nothing's going to change, but you just got to like, here, you got to make it work with my time. You know what I mean? And then it's like I said, it's free. Do whatever you want, but I'm not doing that at 9 o'clock. You know what I mean? But with that being said, that day ended at 5:30. Before, I was big on Whole Foods. I love Whole Foods. You know what I mean? I love shopping at Whole Foods. I love making my own dinners. But day B, since March 2nd, we are at that office until 8 p.m.
Damn.
You know what I mean? So it's like there's no time for cooking after that. You know what I mean?
You're eating fast food and shit.
Not necessarily fast food, like, you know, like Cheesecake Factory, TGI Fridays, like takeout style, like local spots.
You're about to make me get Cheesecake Factory tonight.
Nah, honestly, I can't get that on my birthday. That's a disgrace.
Cheesecake is fire.
It is, but that's a sad birthday meal.
Listen, Drake line, why you gotta fight with me at Cheesecake?
But yeah, no, that's kind of what it looks like. If we go to the Universal building, we usually get there around, you know, anywhere from 10:30 to 11, and then we stay there until 8 o'clock at night. Just because if you leave at 6:30, it takes an hour and a half. If you leave at 7:30, it takes 30 minutes.
Jesus.
You know what I mean? So it's like the traffic just dilutes, and then we get home.
Traffic is that.
And then I say we because my wife goes everywhere that I go in the business. She's also a part owner in the business as well. That's fine. We do it all together, her and I. Everywhere that I go, you're bound to see her within a few feet behind me.
That's awesome.
But yeah, we get home at 8, 9 o'clock, and then enjoy a nice backwood, and then she goes back to her house, and then I go to sleep, and then go to sleep at like 11:30, 12. I like to be.
Damn, you go to sleep that early?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna get up at 7 o'clock, I'm really like, I'm not like the type of guy that says I'm getting up at 7 o'clock, but like then I get out of bed and I fall asleep again until 9 or 10. Like that's not getting up at 7. Like I'm active by 7:30. You know what I mean?
That's fine. That's fine. I'm about to ask you that because I feel like a lot of people don't have that. Having a wife that's involved with your business, you're probably about to blush during this because she's in the room right now. But having a wife that's literally involved with your business, especially a creative business, because
it's the only way for me it would work. You know what I mean? Because I don't I care so much about the business that I need to involve the person that I care the most about within the thing that I care the most about. Or else, I would just be spending all my time away. You know what I mean? And I don't want to do that. So I found a way to give her a role so that way she wouldn't feel like I was always just out doing whatever. You know, she has a role, she has a position and a spot, anywhere, which is very rare because a lot of people, they bring their women with them, but they don't frame it the right way. You know what I mean? It's about framing it like, yeah, she wants to come here to support. She wants to be here to check out what's going on. It's not about so many people, it looks like babysitting, you know what I mean? And that's where it gets a bad stigmatism, you know what I mean? And I think it's just about how you frame it with the people that you're around. And that's why anybody that I introduce her, this is Chelsea, she's my business partner and also wife, you know what I mean? So it's two at the same time. It's not like, and even just and I'll tell you a funny story about Universal. They didn't even know that we were in a relationship for like the first 2.5 weeks. Damn. You know what I mean? Just because I was introducing her as my business partner, because that's the type of environment that we were in, you know what I mean? And I think that at the end of the day, it's just important that if you're going to have a partner, you need to be willing to, if you're passionate about your business, you need to let your partner in on that business, or else that's selfish. You know what I mean? Because if you're going to have this item that you're putting all this time and effort in, and then you're being secretive and, I got to go do this, I got to go do that, I got to go do this, I got to talk to this person, I got to talk to that person. If she didn't understand the business and know what was going on, I would look shady. You know what I mean? With all these random people that I speak to, people constantly reaching out to me, and I think that at the end of the day, it wouldn't be possible without the support that I have from her at the end of the day.
Fire. That's fire. Shout out wifey. Happy Logan.
Absolutely.
You seem like a happy ass dude for someone who's probably stressed out fucking 25-8.
Yeah, no, there's no point in holding anger.
So laid back.
It's easier to live that way. You know what I mean? It's easier to be this way than it is to be some stuck up asshole. You know what I mean? Because then you want to know something? Because the thing is like, I'm going to leave this room and you guys are going to have nothing but nice things to say about me. If I was the opposite way, you'd have other things to say. I don't have time for people saying negative things because that's counterintuitive to what I'm trying to do. So everybody gets the same respect out of me. It doesn't matter if you're here or the janitor. Like, I have a relationship with the janitor at Universal. I have a relationship with the security. I have a relationship with the execs. I have a relationship with everybody, literally from janitor to exec. Because you never know what that janitor might be going through. You never know what that person might be going through. And your positivity might be the only positivity someone in that position gets that day. You know what I mean? So you could change their life in a small way. You know what I mean?
People
and make them, give them a better outlook on the day. You know what I mean? Like, just something as simple as, like, you know, when they're cleaning up, just saying, like, thank you. Like, I truly appreciate you for doing this. You might never know if anybody's ever said that to that woman. You know what I mean? She goes in she got headphones in, she dumps the trash out, she keeps it pushing. You know, I say, yeah, I truly appreciate what you're doing. You know what I mean? It's, you know, what we do up here wouldn't be possible without you. You know, and if people say that and it's cliche and corny, but at the end of the day, they don't go up to the people and actually say it. They go on social media and say it and do it. Take a video of me going like, yeah, you know, we appreciate you, right? You know, like we love our service workers. You know, that's what people do. They don't do it because they genuinely care about making people's and making the world a better place. They do it to fuel this. You know what I mean? Because people care more about this than they do anything else.
I know. Such a weird thing. So many people don't understand that shit. Like, it's such a cliche saying, but you really never know what people are going through. Like you were saying, the smallest action, literally holding a door for somebody, could fucking be the nicest thing that's been done for them in fucking months.
Exactly.
Like, you have never have
even like the homeless. Like if the homeless catch me with some cash, like it's pretty much whatever I got under a 10. Like I've had homeless people, like just the other day in Banana King, like just getting some empanadas. They got Banana King up here?
No.
It's like a fire, like Colombian fast food restaurant. I got it in Jersey.
Fire, though.
Yeah, really good chicken empanadas. And I was getting a couple empanadas. The bill was like $11. You know, some homeless person came in behind me. I had a 20, and it was like, you know, in my mind, I'm already telling myself, like, yeah, you know, if this woman asked me for money, like, just whatever change I have, whatever. And she came out, she's like, can you please buy me a coffee? And I was like, I respect buy me a coffee more than I respect can I have $1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at least, you know, I know what's going on. And I said, honestly, you keep whatever the change is. You know what I mean? I just gave it to her and walked out. You know, because at the end of the day, like, that's, who knows? Most people probably would have said, man, fuck you. I'm not giving you no coffee. It's Patterson. People would be angry. You know what I mean? I just would never want to live my life angry. You know what I mean? Imagine just going through, waking up every day, hating your life.
I know.
Imagine how miserable it would be.
Literally, bro.
You know what I mean?
Like, everyone has periods where they go through, I feel like, at some point, like, I feel like you have to go through a period like that where you're negative to understand how, like, the value of being a positive person. Like, I feel like you do. What was your, if you don't mind sharing, what do you think your moment would be?
I would just say, you know, 2018 to 19, just like being at the top of the world on Instagram, but having no bank account and no license and, you know, maybe 3 outfits, you know what I mean? 6 pairs of underwear, you know, like having very little possessions to my name, but being around all these high octane individuals, that's what really shows you, like, damn, like, I could be mad that I have worn this outfit for 3 days in a row now, but nobody here, I've been with 3 different groups of people. So what am I going to get mad at? I just got to figure out, how can I get more outfits? How can I change my position? You can't get mad at it. You know what I mean? And I think just seeing, like, having my eyes open to how much money people can really earn when they pony up and put their mind to it, you know, it kind of taught me, like, yeah, it's not worth getting angry at my own situation because it's my fault that I'm in my own situation. I chose every decision that I've ever made. I made the decision. I made it on my own. So I'm responsible for the actions. I'm responsible for what happens afterwards. Nobody else is. Me. You know? So at the end of the day, you gotta go with a positive attitude because, you know, being mad at the world isn't going to get you anywhere.
What's your thoughts on people with no self-accountability?
Oh, God.
You could rant as long as you want on this shit.
No, I don't get it, man. I don't understand what, like, how is a human being, right? We're all human beings. How can you blame your situation unless you're disabled at birth or disabled through like, I'm talking physically or mentally disabled. That's the only person I give a pass. That's the only person I give a pass to. How can you wake up and not figure it out? You know what I mean? It's like, You look around, everybody's got the same phone, the same tools, the same access to Instagram, the same access to everything else. I just don't get it's. I don't even think self accountability is the word. Honestly, I think it's just at the end of the day, some people need to place the blame on other people. And I guess that's because they have a lack of self accountability, but people don't even know what accountability is. People don't know what it means to be accountable. Why? Because when do you learn true accountability?
When you fuck up.
But even beyond that, when you fuck up and what is the one big thing that you really learn accountability first? Am I all right? This is probably a loaded question. Paying rent. You are accountable for this building.
That is true.
What is going to happen? It was
that
April,
honestly is true, bro.
It was April 1st yesterday. Did you pay rent?
True. Yeah, no, I have to pay my rent.
What
on
happens
Monday.
if you didn't? What happens if you just
fucking
didn't? If you
building
just
goes-
couldn't pay
That
your
is
rent?
actually such fact.
What's gonna happen?
Bills in general. That's what
That's what teaches accountability. Because until you can put your mans off, you can put your mom off, you can put your homie off. You can't put the bill man off.
Yeah.
You can't put eviction off. You can't put that off. And that's what, until you live an adult life, pay for your own food, pay for your own housing, pay for your own everything, you're never going to be truly accountable until you have to do that. Because then you understand, oh, nah, like, I have 30 days. I need to get this amount of money. If I'm on day 3 and I like, that's when the gears start working.
Why do you think there's still some people that aren't like that?
Because
though?
they don't pay their own bills.
Like, no, there's people I know that literally I've heard them be like, yo, I'm like 2 or 3 months behind on rent. And like, I understand sometimes there's fucking speed bumps and potholes on the road.
They have unaccountable landlords that allow them to be 2 and 3 months behind.
Good point.
And it's because at the same point, even people in power positions like landlords, even all landlords aren't like hard charges like I need that fucking rent. My man was just in a house that he wasn't paying the rent for 3 months, and he was cool. So it's like at the end of the day, not every landlord wants to bang on that door and evict you on month 1. A lot of people don't want the conflict. So it's like they'll allow you to slip, and at that point, you're not 3 months behind. You just didn't pay for 2 months, and then you started paying again. You know what I mean? So he'll be 3 months behind for his whole life until the landlord decides to pony up and then kick him out. I guarantee you he's got 2 choices at that point. He can turn to drugs or he can figure his life out. And that's the only 2 choices people have. You know what I mean? And it's crazy that I don't know what the statistic is on what percentage of people, but when faced with homelessness, you only have 2 choices. You know what I mean? One or the other.
Literally.
You know? And I think that's what it takes. Is I've been not on the brink of homelessness, but I've never been on the brink of homelessness because I could always have gone back to my parents' house in North Attleboro. Like I wasn't like, scolded away, but I had a moral issue with going back on my word of saying that I wasn't coming back. You know what I mean? So I would have been, I lived in New Jersey. Like I said, there was times I wouldn't have money to pay for food for 3 days. Talk about accountability. Being alone in somebody else's house in a state that you're not from while the person's house you're in is on a booking across the country and left you there because they didn't have money for a photographer that time. And you have no money for food. That's where you learn accountability. When you have to feed yourself and there's nobody that you can call. There's nobody you can't rustle the cabinets open and find some saltines or nothing. You're in an empty house that you just moved into a week before that. You know what I mean? Alone with no money and no bank account. No way to even have somebody send you money outside of Cash App. And this is before they had the Cash App card. So I would, you know what I mean? But that's where you learn accountability. That's where I learned like, oh, nah, this is not going to work. You know what I mean? But who am I going to be mad at besides myself? Am I going to be mad at the guy because he didn't pay for my flight? No. Was he supposed to leave me food money? Maybe morally, but not. It's like at the end of the day, I got to figure it out. And I figured it out.
So what kept you going through that? Talking about not having
Tenacity.
money for food for 3 days.
Tenacity.
Elaborate on that.
It just, you want above average results, you got to put in above average work, right? And so many people are afraid to put in above average work because it's above average. It takes above average time. It takes above average effort. It takes above average sacrifice. If you want to have all those things, you want average effort, you want average results, there's plenty of places you can get a job where you can get paid, not based on performance, but based on the amount of time you spend there. If you want to get paid off performance, the ceiling is a lot higher. So I knew I was in a performance-based game. I wasn't in an hourly-based game. The only way I was going to earn is if I became the best, and I became somebody that was a trusted source of information that people could take their money towards and spend with, knowing they're going to do the right thing. So I just knew that there was a big void that had to be filled in the underground artist marketing game. And I really wanted to fill it like really badly. And I know that doesn't sound like the best explanation, but I really don't know how else to explain it besides like that I am just at any time, anywhere, willing to give anything up to progress the business. I like even today, like it's my birthday today. Who the hell is going to come to a podcast? And I'm not. This isn't like a rapper would come to a podcast on his birthday, but this is not the same type of podcast that we're talking about.
I know.
This is an intellectual podcast. You know what I mean?
It's not like you're sitting here fucking sipping lean, just laid back in the fucking chair.
You know, so at the end of the day, it's
talk
like
about me and the guys.
This much effort. Last night, I paid for a venue and let 40 artists come see me speak for free about marketing. Who does that? It's because I care about progressing my business that much, and I'm willing to do anything to get myself there because I want to be Jeff Bezos. I want to be Elon Musk. I want to be like Lucian Grange. I don't want to be just another somebody. Regular. You know what I mean? I want to be the guy that breaks through his industry. Like, people know LeBron James, probably don't even know what team he plays on right now, but everybody knows LeBron James. Everybody's heard of Floyd Mayweather. They might not know how many fights he's won. They might not know if he does boxing, MMA, jiu-jitsu. They might have no idea. They know he beats people up and he's extremely wealthy. That's what I'm going after. Not beats people up, you know, but that status of like, no, that is somebody that made a major impact on his sector of the world far beyond just the money. You know what I mean? Really impactful as a human being for these people, you know?
I want to ask you off that, the element of sacrifice. Because we were talking about this on the last episode. You talk about the Bezos, you talk about the Elons. The only thing that really is differentiating all these people is how much they sacrifice.
Yes.
So I want you to just talk about some of the sacrifices in your personal life that you've made to be able to get to where you are. And also what I want to talk about a little bit. We were talking about just like stress levels and being able to get to that point. Basically what it is, like, people don't understand how important consistency is. Because if you're consistent with one thing and you make that your bare minimum, okay, you go add more onto that. That's the only way you're able to add more onto it, is if you're consistent with something, you add more, that becomes normal. Then you add more onto that. That becomes normal. So I want you to elaborate on those two things, element of sacrifice, and then just how you're able to add more onto your workload constantly. Because you said it was one artist, a fucking 600 and how many? Obviously you have a team now.
Right now.
Exactly. So I want you to talk about those two things. The mic's yours for the next 10 minutes, however long.
Sacrifice is, there's no victory without sacrifice. You know what I mean? You have to be willing to give to get, whether it's you're going to sacrifice your time, your money, your resources, your energy, whatever it is, you got to give it to get it. And I think at the end of the day, it is April 2nd, 2023. Untitled Export Management has been open since June 1st, 2020. And the CEO of Untitled Export Management still has a salary of $0. So that's number one. That's sacrifice number one. You know what I mean? I don't pay myself. You know what I mean? Granted, I eat every day. You know
I can relate to you with that, bro.
At the end of the day, like, I'm not taking like a weekly paycheck. You know what I mean? Like, oh,
all the other people around you,
X amount of dollars, and I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I sacrifice that on a daily basis. You know what I mean? My house is like a one family, like it's like a 2-car garage that they turned into a little house. It's got like a bedroom that just fits like a queen bed and a dresser. I got a bathroom that has its own door with a full shower and sink, and then I just have a little kitchen living room area. So my house is smaller than my office. My office costs twice as much as my house. So me personally, Logan Forbes spends very little money on things that are not food. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, you're not going to see me, you know what I mean, out, you know, doing stupid shit going on. And at the end of the day, I think at the end of the day, not to say that twice, obviously we're going to get to all that. But we'll get to that when, like, I take somebody else's money. You know what I mean? When it's like I take a venture capitalist investment or take a bank loan, then I'll pay myself. But I'm not going to pay myself with my client's money. You know what I mean? It's like, how am I going to build a salary off of money that people are giving me for marketing? You know what I mean? So we got to get, you know, obviously the business set up in better ways as time goes on. Obviously, I'm learning how to better set up my business every day, but, you know, we haven't gotten to salaries yet. You know, and I think that's one of the biggest sacrifices that everybody on the team makes. Everybody on the team, including myself, is commission-based. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, we're all willing to sacrifice a non-regulated stream of income. But Untitled Export Management pays 50% commission on sales, which is unheard of in the sales world.
Yeah, that is crazy.
You know what I mean? So I make up for it. You know what I mean? And eventually, everybody that's here with me knows that there'll be salaried options if they want to take them. But I would personally stick with the commission because you make more money that way. But it's sacrifice. You sacrifice not having a guaranteed paycheck to potentially have the better yo-yo. You know what I mean? So I think it's, the sacrifices. And honestly, like, for somebody that makes a lot of sacrifice, I really don't, like, I'm not going to sit up here and brag, you know what I mean, about like, I go without this and I go, well, like, at the end of the day, like, I don't do anything besides business. You know what I mean? And that in and of itself is a sacrifice, I think that's, what was the second part?
Just talking about adding on your workload.
The most recent thing that I added on was the best thing that I ever added on was the reels, right? Doing a reel every day. Yeah. I have gone from, I used to spend $1,000 a month on Instagram ads. Now I spend $250 a month on Instagram ads and get more leads than I did before because the reels has filled up the other 75%, Yeah. And I think that just now that I've been doing it for like 6 months, and I was saying this at the event yesterday, I don't think it's been 6 months, maybe 4. Saying this at the event yesterday, I was like, like, at the end of the day, like, if it's not like, it's Sunday right now, so I'm cooling, but if I haven't posted a reel on a Monday through Friday, like, I'm uncomfortable. Like, she could tell you, I'm uncomfortable until I post a reel. Like, I can't, like, you know what I mean? I can't function until I get it out because it's just ingrained itself into my thing. But I'm just the type of guy that, like, if I say I'm going to do something, I just do it. There's no secret to it. It's like, I just have that much accountability in myself to say, if I'm going to do something, it's going to happen. Come hell or high water. You know what I mean? It's going to happen. And I think that's the biggest thing with me is I'm just willing to push through anything and anything and everything to get to the end goal because there's people out there that are willing to work harder than you.
100%.
There's always going to be somebody that's willing to work hard. You want to know who is one of my hardest working employees that has never missed a day, that's been on 1,000 days right with me, is this guy, a teleworker that I have out of Pakistan named Farouk.
What?
Who updates our leads for our business every day. There's days where the team doesn't get to new leads every day, but he updates them every day, 6 days a week since I started the company.
That's dedication.
I pay him $25 a month, and he has never missed a day.
Bro.
And he gets $25 a month. So if he, you know what I mean, is willing to do it.
Yeah.
Just there's people, the kids in this country are in trouble. Because there's people like that are willing to do shit for pennies on Fiverr. Literally. You know what I mean?
He's been preaching about Fiverr, Ryan.
Fiverr's great. But Fiverr, you got to go through because there's people on there that scam too.
There is.
And Fiverr will give you the money back, but so.
Bro, Jesus Christ. I want to know, to rail back in, because I asked you this probably like fucking 15 questions ago, but then I asked something else instead. How'd you get to know all these artists in the first place?
Like the ones that we work with presently?
Yeah.
We run ads.
640?
We run ads.
That's like the main way?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on just the way that social media is right now with like all the quick pay shit? Because obviously I feel like it has been like that the past 3 years, but at the same time it kind of really made the shift the past like year and a half, I feel like, to where it was Reels and TikTok just completely took over.
Yeah. The Reels are great, man. Like, I love Reels. Reels account for so many new customers because what happens is I run the ad. The ad circles my page in front of new customers. The Reels circles my page in front of new customers. Artists are very hungry to grow. Artists are very hungry to work, right? So they're always going to hit up new people. They're always going to reach out. How can you work with me? How can you work with me? Will you sign me? Whatever. Now, that's where I and us are different from everybody else, is that whether somebody says, I want to sign me, I need a deal, manage me, help me, do you do marketing? No matter what the question is, they get the same respectful response. And it's not a copy and paste response, but it's something along the lines of, how are you doing today, sir? How can I help? You know what I mean? We talk to the customer. A lot of people that are in the position that I'm in will get a message like, sign me, and they'll be like, you have 10 followers, go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's the biggest difference with us, is that now it's like we have a community, so people work with us and they say, oh, nah, you guys don't work with that person anymore. I found this guy. This guy actually picks up the phone. This guy doesn't make you pay to talk to him. This guy will listen to your music and help you out. This guy doesn't send me a price sheet and just make me pick. This guy doesn't send me to a website, make me check out online. This guy's custom building campaigns for me based on my music. He's sending me custom invoices, and they're taking payment when I'm ready, not when they're ready. None of my team is ever hitting anybody like, oh, you're not serious. Fuck you. You were supposed to send the money today. Like, you're a joke. Like, but there's people out there that do that. You know what I mean? And that's why we've been able to grow to so many artists, because we don't lose artists. Once somebody works with us, they don't want to work with anybody else because they know damn well they're not going to get the best service anywhere else. I have customers that because we have a very strict revenue model. We take 20% of the artist budget for our pocket. We take 80%, spend it on the advertisement. I had one guy in particular that had a major problem with trusting my integrity on whether I was really spending the 80% of the 20%. And it happened on 3 or 4 occasions. And I don't even think he remembers all 3 or 4. And he'll probably see this too. But he came to me on 3 or 4 occasions. Each time he said, can I just get a screenshot of the ad? We always send him a screenshot of the ad. Then he's like, yeah, but can I see your bank account statement, your transaction, so I can make sure it isn't photoshopped? And I was like, yeah, I don't think I want to, like, I'm good, bro. Like, next time you need a campaign, like, I just recommend going somewhere else. Like, maybe you'll see the difference between work with me and somebody else. And every time he goes to work with somebody else, and then 2 months later he comes back and says, I never should have worked with da-da-da-da-da-da.
Comes back.
And he did it 4 times. And then the last time he did it, I tweaked on him. I lost my mind. And I don't do that very often. But I really said, like, this is like the 4th time you've done this to me. I started replying to my messages from the last time I argued with him about it. Saying, like, I just told you about this. You know what I mean? But he goes on, and then he texts me 2 months later after this. And he says, yo, you still not willing to work with me? Because I still can't find anybody that does it the way that you do it. I'm done. I promise I won't ask about the money again.
Bro. People be dumbasses with burning bridges, bro. Like, people be dumbasses, bro. Don't burn bridges. Whoever the fuck is watching this, don't burn bridges, bro. Like,
can't cross over it if you burn it.
Literally. Like, I probably burnt 2 or 3 bridges my whole time doing this, and I still regret. I still wish I didn't burn them. Yeah. But you seem like the same with me in the sense where it's like, if you get one of us to burn a bridge, you must have really fucked up.
Yeah.
You must
have really
really
bad. For me to like X somebody out of the equation, it's got to be real bad.
Well, it's also like, bro, some people just suck at doing business. Like, it's like the most unprofessional shit. It literally doesn't even make sense whatsoever. No. How they're so terrible at it. Like, literally, like, go fucking work at Shaw's. If you're that bad, like, I don't know what the fuck. Go to GameStop or some shit, facts. Bro.
Like I said, there's plenty of places that hire not based on skill.
You seem to, my bad to cut you off, but what I respect about you, you seem like you're personality based to an extent. Yeah. Like, obviously, it's like, okay, even if someone doesn't have the best personality and someone's going to give you $1,000 for some shit, you're probably going to do it for them. But you seem like you really just are genuine about trying to fucking help, and your hands on with the personal element.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, I used to lose a lot of customers because I didn't have all the tools that we have now. Now I don't really lose customers, but there's a lot of customers that come to me wanting to spend money on one thing, and I'm like, bro, why would you spend money on that? You know what I mean? Like, it isn't even, at that point, it's not about giving me the money or anything. It's about, why do you even want that? Like, one of the most common ones is radio spins. I said, like, why do you want to go on the radio
now? Who listens
That's
to the
exactly
radio
like,
now?
what do you want to go on the radio for? Well, because this artist is on the radio, whatever. It's like, nah, bro. Like, you want to do something? Here, try this. This is what I would do if I was you. Some people listen, some people say no and go buy the radio stream from somebody else. Then they come back and say I shouldn't have bought the radio stream. Bro. You know what I mean? So I think at the end of the day, and I always tell people, like, yes, technically anybody can hire us, but if we don't feel like we can help out in the equation, like, nobody from here is going to pursue you. You know what I mean? Like, if we don't feel like we can add knowledge, value, information, service, growth, exposure, knowledge. I said knowledge twice, but something, you know what I mean? There's just no point. What are we talking for?
I don't get that whole shit with people, bro. Like, the radio shit. Shout out to people that are getting their songs on the radio. Right. It's cool for a little Instagram post.
It is.
But if you're spending $1,000 to get your shit on like 94.5, bro, that shit is not.
Shit is a waste of bread.
They play it at like 11 o'clock at night, 90% of the fucking time, bro.
Mm-hmm. It's only cool for the IG video. That's it.
Like, besides that, and just to be able to say, like, oh, I got played on the radio, but that shit was like a 10-year-old marketing strategy. That's what I'm asking now. Right. We're gonna get into we got like probably like 30 more minutes left. We could go, depending unless you're in a rush.
No rush.
We're gonna get into the gems now. This one we're gonna get into
the gem.
No, we're gonna get into
gem hour.
This is about to be the gem half hour. This is about to be packed with mad gems. But going off of that, Say somebody is trying to market themselves.
Yep.
Obviously, the radio you just said is a no-go.
No-go.
Actually, before I asked the dudes, top 3 no-goes. Top 3 no-goes of marketing that you think are the absolute dumbest things artists can invest their money into.
Radio, the promote button on Instagram,
The promote button on Instagram.
and consultation.
Consultations?
Yes. Because if somebody has to charge you for 30 minutes of their time and it's like anything under $250, like just always remember to think about it, right? If this person is spending their whole days charging people $100 per half hour to talk on the phone, and you go on their Calendly link and there's nothing but slots open, do you really think it's a good idea to do that? But people don't go that far, because why? People on Calendly will go and make their appointments disappear for like the 2 or 3 days ahead of time. But if you always look into the next week and you see every appointment available, their whole structure is based on charging you for your 30-minute phone call, and then at the end they're just going to whack you with another bill. So consultation fees, the promote button on Instagram, and the radio.
Damn. And what would you say are the most helpful?
Ads, blogs, and short-form content.
Ads and blogs?
All that under the table.
People still read blogs, you think?
No, not those blogs. Those blogs are right up there with radio. Like this
right
is
up
50.
blogs?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is 50 in hip-hop since 1987. Those used to be good for verification, but not anymore. You know what I mean?
Well, we're bringing up that fucking verified conversation later in this, bro.
Oh, I'd love to.
We're bringing that up
Because
later.
my opinion's probably not the same as everybody else's. But at the end of the day, that promote button sucks. I want to highlight the promote button for a second. You got to realize Facebook has another ad, right? They have Facebook and Instagram meta ads through Meta Ad Studio. It costs the same amount of money to run ads that way. You get Instagram and Facebook at the same time, and you get conversion campaigns, which over the time of the campaign get smarter and teach you more about how that campaign is moving and how your music or your post or whatever is traveling through Instagram's ecosystem, and it'll get smarter and start showing it to people that are more likely to convert over time. The promote button is a money suck. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I hate the promote button. As far as the blogs that I was talking about that are good, I'm talking about like a blog, like a not Say Cheese, but a smaller version of Say Cheese. Like I have a database of 185 hip hop blogs that are do like $40 posts for me, $50 posts, $100 posts, $10 posts, $20 posts, $500 posts, whatever the case may be. I think those combined with those repeated over and over again, combined with a good ad strategy acting in the background to keep your algorithms moving, combined with a good short-form content strategy, will give any artist a complete overhaul night and day on their fan base in 6 to 9 months.
What about playlisting?
No. Who listens to playlists?
You don't think playlisting works?
Who listens to playlists?
A lot of the NPCs be listening to playlists.
Yeah, nah, NPCs, though, as in like bots.
No, I'm not talking about NPCs. I'm talking about the NPCs with like...
Think about it, though. When have you, and forget everything that a marketer or an industry person has told you about a Spotify playlist, so forget anything that you've heard online about it, because people will put videos out to try and sell Spotify playlists. When have you ever, in your daily adult life, had a real human being come up to you and say, bump this random Spotify playlist that I found?
Here's my theory behind it, because I didn't think it worked sense. I'm talking about the organic, like not paying for playlisting, but I'm talking about where you go do the research and then submit it to a bunch.
No, it's the same shit.
Well,
it's like, who's listening to them?
Here's my thing though. All the people that like my high school friends and shit, when I chill with them that aren't into music.
Yeah. But they listen to Rap Caviar though, or they're
like
listening
Rap
to
Caviar and like other random ones.
Those are
though.
editorial though.
No, I'm not talking about just editorial though. I've had motherfuckers that literally will just be like, "We'll listen to this random playlist." It's never anyone. Like it would not be anyone in this room.
Really?
It would be. I swear to God, like the amount of high school kids I listen to, because I ask them, like I'd be asking people that I just pick. I could talk to anyone. I could talk to a homeless person, ask them some shit, trying to fucking learn something. But I'll just be asking my high school friends. I'll be like, "Yo, how do you guys find new music, whatever?" And they'll just show me random ass fucking playlists. And that, if you think about it, it makes sense because it's all of the people, like all the random ass college kids and shit that all they do is go out, they drink, they don't really be on social media or whatever.
Right.
Even like the older kids, like and even adults, like a lot of them, it makes sense. Those are the people that are consuming it.
But hear me out on this, right? How can it be that the people that curate these playlists can guarantee song after song.
Oh,
after
those
song
ones are
after-
fake.
But that's the thing.
ones are
Those are
fake.
the only ones that are on the market.
Oh, those
The
are
ones
the ones
that-
I'm talking about a different kind.
So there's
about the
editorial
different
playlisting, and then there's user playlisting.
Yeah.
From Spotify's database, there's only
Yeah.
three kinds: editorial, algorithmic, and user. User, then technically you could go into like the different categories of user where you're saying like these college kids have these playlists. Then there's the scammy ones, but I put all user playlisting in the same box. I don't personally think it's gonna take anybody from here to here, and it's a hot opinion. You know what I mean? It really is, because there's a lot of people that would probably disagree with me on that. I personally, I swear to God, you are the first person
That has
said they've met somebody that listens to a Spotify playlist.
Yeah.
And I just think for the fact that these companies can have hundreds of options and they all work the same and the cities are all slightly the same and they all say they get them through the ads and build them through ads. But at the end of the day, we're talking about millions of streams here. We're not talking about, a pocket of individuals at like Boston College that have like, a playlist that gets passed around the college that may have a few thousand likes.
I'm more talking about stuff like that.
Oh.
I'm not talking about the major ones that it's
Right.
like, oh, you pay $40 and you're guaranteed
Right.
a million streams. I'm talking about the ones like people, random Instagrams you'll find,
Yeah.
and they curate playlists, and their whole entire Instagram following is based off of curating playlists, stuff like that. Like, have you ever done the strategy? What I do for the artists I work with, I literally will go through artists that have similar music to them. Say it's like a Polo G type artist. Go through Polo G, go through like I normally go through like 30 other artists that are similar on 3 different scales.
Yeah.
Like Drake level, smaller, mid-tier level, and then like a local level.
Yeah.
And I'll go through the playlist that they're on, filter out which ones I think are organic, and then hit the people up on Instagram. That's the playlist I'm talking about. Like, it's still a user playlist, but
Right, it's a different category. I don't know. Personally, when Spotify has a way you can pay them through ads.spotify.com and you can run an ad and get right in the algorithm, I just think it's a better use of the money. Unless people are putting the song on for free because the song is hard, you know what I mean? And I would say, but I don't know. I just think that when it comes to spending money on music, unless you're like a millionaire, you know what I mean? You really got to be careful with the money that you're spending. 100%. And giving $40 to a person that has one of these playlists that you're talking about, or whatever amount of money they want, like at the end of the day, that person could have a problem, you know what I mean, that can cause you to fuck up on your playlist. That person
especially with the fake playlist.
Right. So at the end of the day, when you have a way to just pay Spotify directly and just do it clean like that, personally, I wouldn't do anything else.
What's your what about the editorials?
Editorials, they're just extremely hard to get, but they're the best best playlists, because everybody has Rap Caviar. Yeah. Everybody has Rap Life. Everybody has, new hits daily, you know what I mean?
I had someone, I don't know if it was true, somebody on an episode probably like 10 episodes ago, they were trying to tell me just to get your song pitched to Rap Caviar it costs $10,000.
Wow, that's
I thought it was free.
You would have to. It's free. It is free, but there's one guy that you can pay $10,000 to get on Rap Caviar.
That makes sense.
That's vetted, but I highly doubt that somebody would have that connection, because he's a very, very like elusive man that does it. Huh. So he might have heard it from somebody that heard it from somebody. Yeah. But I'll ask again after the cameras are off.
Damn.
Huh. And I'll tell you who it is.
Okay. I'm curious about that. What do you think about in-person marketing? Do you have
street marketing is valued.
Street marketing, how helpful do you think that is? Like,
I've seen somebody go number 5 on the iTunes charts all off of street marketing. This guy from Florida, his name's Jamie. I talk about him all the time. He asked me one day, he said, "I don't have any money. What can I do?" I was like, "Print out some business cards and go to the mall." Guy went to the mall for 6 months, passed business cards out to everybody, collected an email and text message list, and got like, I think 512 or 513 people to buy his song, and that was enough to get number 5 in the iTunes charts.
What the fuck, bro? Damn, wait. That's how little people, if you buying shit on iTunes, you only need like 500 sales to get on charts? That breaks the fucking code, bro. That breaks the code of how I do it.
But you got to have 500 unique devices.
Yeah, still though. That is still though, because I know people that have like big fan bases that have done it, and I've been like, what the fuck? But
a lot of people pay for it. There's people you can pay like $2,500 that they have like the iPhone farms.
Oh my god, bro.
But he's the only one that I know that's actually got it off the muscle. Everybody else I know paid for it.
How's the billboards and shit? How
like the ones on the street?
Yeah, like the ones Deco be doing. The ones Deco be doing. Deco don't get butthurt. He's just giving honest feedback to everybody.
Yeah, he doesn't do those anymore, I don't think.
Oh, he doesn't?
I told him to stop doing that shit.
Good.
That billboard in New York sucks. It costs $35 from the New York State Advertising Agency.
Bro.
You know what I mean?
Damn, I did not know it was that cheap.
But it's down right now. There is no billboard.
Oh, really? Damn.
That's why you haven't been seeing it.
Damn, bro. Mm-hmm. Damn. But that, because I always looked at it, and like, once again, Deco, don't get offended by this. I love you. Deco's my dog. But I always look at it and I'm like, okay, this is like fire. But at the same time, I'm like, who is actually going to like book anything through this?
Just for the picture.
Yeah, I feel like it's the same thing with the radio show, like we were talking about. It's for the picture.
It's for the picture.
For the Instagram real quick, yeah, it's cool, but I never really thought it was that beneficial. What about merch sales and shit?
Merch is hard to sell, but you should have it. You know what I mean? You give it away. But here's the thing with the merch. Nobody wants to walk around with a t-shirt with your artist name on it. Yeah. You know what I mean? You got to come up with something
creative
that people could wear, you know what I mean, in their daily lives, you know, something they could wear to the gym, wear out, you know, not have to be worried about, you know, a giant 100%. Name plastered right here, you know?
I got a good question I just thought of.
What you got?
Motherfucker's going to get butthurt at this. What would you say to an artist, right?
Yeah.
All the artists out there that they so badly want to make it.
Yeah.
But they aren't willing to invest a single dollar into themselves.
It's an uphill battle. You better be posting a reel 3 times a day, 7 days a week. You know what I mean? But if you're not willing to invest in yourself, you don't take yourself seriously. But you want to know what the real problem with investing in yourself is that 90% of the people that you can invest with are going to scam you. So it's not necessarily, a lot of artists will invest if they feel like they have the right team around them. But a lot of artists, they've been scammed so many times by people that make false promises. Because there's people that'll say, oh, you know, just, you know, do this one promotion and then I'll get you a label meeting and get you signed. You know what I mean? Obviously just to close the sale.
They're just selling dreams.
A lot of the times, I would say 90% of people that sell artist services are selling dreams. You know what I mean? They have no emotion. They have no value. Because at the end of the day, anybody can pick up a phone and try and figure out how to run ads. Any kid can make a marketing agency now, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, that's what gives a lot of us a bad name, is that there's people out here that are literally just taking advantage of people and doing arbitrage. They take money from person A, they take out a little bit, and then they send money to person B, and then person B might send it to person C and take out a little bit. And by the time the artist's money gets to the actual source, it's probably 30% of what they started with. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, that's why I think that there are some artists that are very hard-headed, that just no matter what, they will not invest in themselves. I think a lot of that is just based on truly financials. I don't think that anybody will spend money marketing their music if they're having trouble paying rent. You know what I mean? Yeah. But those that have expendable income, I think that with the right team around them, I've never had somebody not be willing to handle business with us because of the authenticity that I bring to the table. But at the end of the day, there are a lot of people out there who just take advantage of these guys. So as the artist, you got to realize, how are they supposed to know who's good and who's bad? Yeah. If I'm not going out here and doing this and getting on platforms like this and doing things like the event I did last night, making these reels, and I'm not educating these people, how would anybody know that I was legit? You know what I mean? They just have to blindly trust me and hope that it pays off. So that's why a lot of artists don't invest, is because 90% of the people scam. If an artist is working with you, right, and this just goes to anybody. If you're doing business with an artist and you're spending more than, you're keeping more than 30% of the money they're giving you, you're scamming them. You know what I mean? Like, that's not, like, at that point, that's not a service fee anymore. That's arbitrage. If somebody gives you $500 and you keep $250, you better be putting up $250 worth of services. You better be giving that person 10 hours worth of work at $25 an hour. If you're going to keep $250, you better provide them with some type of value. But to take $500 from somebody, send $250 to somebody on Fiverr, and put $250 in your pocket is wrong, no matter what way you look at that equation. And that's the problem, is that's what 90% of the people do, because they don't have marketing skills. They don't know how to run ads. They just know how to convince people to buy ads. They don't know how to do anything, and that's the problem. And that's why people don't invest, is because that's what it's plagued with. Then don't get me started on like all the like the guys that I don't want to mention their name, but the guys that do the DM scams, that go into the verified artist DMs and pretend to be them and pretend to be Fat Joe and them. You know what I mean? Like, that shit is sad, bro. That's because now you know how many people they scammed? I know. So now
they tried to do that to my artist last week.
People don't even trust them. Yeah. People don't even trust verified Fat Joe anymore. Yeah. Because people think he's scamming people when it ain't even him. Yeah. somebody that's behind his Instagram. So at the end of the day, it's like, that's why people don't invest. It's because there's no trust. And that's what I'm trying to set out to change, is put the trust out there. People know, like, yeah, like, at the end of the day, it costs. Music is a pay-to-play industry, just like anything else. You got to pay if you want to play. It costs money to make money. You have to do promotion to get results. Music is not like, is there music? How many phones are in this room right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 phones in this room. Do you hear any of them randomly playing an underground artist song? Because it's never going to happen. And that's such a stupid analogy. But I swear to God, some people think their music is just going to end up on somebody's phone one day. Not doing any type of marketing. How is it going to happen? It's not reverse osmosis. It's not like I'm going to play a song and your phone is going to come and grab it out. You know what I mean? It's like you got to get somebody to type that song in through marketing. But hopefully we can continue to make a positive change and a positive impact on the hip-hop community and continue to show people that not everybody is out to scam them, not everybody's out to take advantage of them, and that there are people like ourselves and like my team that do honest work and that will get on the phone with you and that will talk about the campaign before you pay, answer your questions before you pay. There's so many people, I've seen people put people on their story like, oh, this guy's asking too many questions, man, bad customer alert. And the guy's just asking like how the campaign's gonna work. But that's the problem though. When people do that so many times, you jade an entire industry of people. Because there's no cheat code to music. So if you're an artist and he's an artist and he got scammed and you guys are both from the same area and he got scammed on promotion twice and he tells you, man, this promotion shit might just not be worth it. You don't think that you two as crabs in the bucket are gonna sit there and say, yeah, you know what? Maybe it isn't. Maybe everybody just scams. And that's what happens. Each one teach one can also be negative. And it can spread misinformation through an entire industry to the point where now artists are afraid to promote because there's people that take advantage and prey on them because it's easy. It's easy. Imagine if I started saying I'm going to bring people up to Universal and get them signed if they do marketing.
How many more people would probably...
You know what I mean? I'd probably make $1 million in a month.
Probably lose a bunch of customers afterwards,
exactly,
too. Because when they don't get that deal. When they don't get that Universal deal, they're going to be like, what the fuck?
But that's why I don't do it. That's why I don't bring nobody up there. Because what am I bringing you up there for? You know what I mean? Nobody's going to sign you. You got 30 monthly listeners, bro. Like, we're focused on the wrong thing here. But I'll tell people straight up that DM me, yo, sign me. I'll be like, send me some music. I'll go on their Spotify profile. I have 30 monthly listeners. I'll screenshot it and send it to them and be like, you think this is signable? And I don't say it rudely. But at the end of the day, like, do you genuinely expect somebody to give you money for this?
People don't understand. You got to build your traction beforehand. You can't go to somebody, especially the motherfuckers that be wanting free shit, bro.
Exactly.
You can't be going to someone expecting no free shit if you don't have anything to bring to the fucking table. Like, if you got 30 monthly listeners, you shouldn't even be DMing anybody. Oh. You should just be fucking figure it out. Watch YouTube videos for fucking a month straight. Don't even fucking leave your room. Don't shower. And fucking figure out how to get your fucking streams up, bro. Literally. We got fucking iPhones for a reason, bro.
I saw a great quote, right, the other day. Right? Or not a great quote, a great video. You know Alex Hormozy, the gym guy?
I think the dude on the last podcast was literally talking about him.
So the gym guy has a video, right? And he's like, everybody that goes up to high-value individuals and says, how can I help you? Is asking that person to go do a bunch of work, to think about how can you help me? Are you going to be good at it? What can you even do? How much are you going to charge me for it? Is it going to be quality? That's just 5 things, and there's more that I could think of if I sat here and kept thinking about it. You expect somebody in a position of power when you're meeting them in person, what can I do for you? What do you need help with? You expect them to go through those 5 questions right then and there and be like, I need this. No, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, ha, 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 good to meet you. You study a person, you figure out what they might need, and you do it, and you present it to them. Here it is, and here's how much it is if you want more of it. He was saying he hired almost all of his video editors like that. The video editors would just send him, there would be all different types of video editors that reach out. Ones that reach out and say, hey, are you hiring? Ones that reach out and say, oh, here's my portfolio. And ones that say, here's a bunch of videos that I edited of your content. Let me know if you like them, and here's how much it is to move forward.
Like, people don't even want to put in that extra mile, bro.
No, they don't. They're lazy.
A lot of people are lazy, bro.
Everybody's lazy.
That's a whole nother conversation, bro. Like, people just won't put in the slightest bit of fucking effort and then just expect you to. Like... Or expect, if not you, the next person to, or their friend to. Back to the self-accountability thing. They think everyone else is going to do it but them.
And that's the sad part.
It is, bro. I got two other questions that I want to ask in one though, because you brought back to my attention the verified talk. I want your opinion on this whole pay to get verified shit. And then after that, I want you to just give the fucking tea on how the fuck you got so good at marketing. Because I don't know how we haven't talked. We've gone an hour and a half without that.
Let me answer this real quick.
Bet.
Bring a special guest onto the pod. Yo, you on the podcast right now? I said, you on a podcast with me right now?
What's up?
Move it a little closer if you wanted to pick up.
Yeah, we'll pause it.
A few moments later.
Reeling back into that question. Your whole thoughts on the verified shit.
I think it's awesome. I think it's interesting to see.
I'm surprised.
I think it's awesome to see because it's a real character tester. You know what I mean? Because I'm not the type to go on and tell. I don't ever, and nobody will ever see me go on internet and talk negatively about another human, right? But at the end of the day, we know what the real name in the bio means now. Everybody knows what that means. You put that on your page saying, thank you, Instagram, for verifying me. You just told the entire world where your mind was at. You know what I mean? And that's my thought on it. It's all in how you do it. If you get it for the extra account security and all that, there's no problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no issues. If you're just getting it because it has, I would get it, but I don't want my government name, and I like my profile picture, and I like my little name with my little wizard logo. I have it on Twitter. I bought it on Twitter because I like
that
how,
was a
you know what I mean?
Thing too.
Right. So it's like at the end of the day, I think that it does, kind of water down verifications, but at the end of the day, the only people that are really mad are people that were making money on verifications.
Did you see how much money they made in one day?
You know who Adam Quinn is?
No, is he one of the dudes that just sells Instagram verifications?
Yeah, he's the guy that got banned. They got perma-banned because he was the one doing all the dentists and all the Instagram models and everything.
He probably made a bag before that.
Yeah, he's perma-banned from all Meta platforms now.
Do you know how much, Facebook made?
Wasn't it like $11 million or something like that?
They sold $44 million the first day at $15. That is $660 million in 24 hours.
Yeah, that's nutty.
They made over $500 million in one day.
I'm interested to see who's not going to be able to afford 14 a month going forward, though.
Yo, it's going to be mad funny when you see people get unverified.
You know Ray Ray?
That shit. No.
You know, there's this guy. I'm going to find it.
Yo, that shit, he just brought up a good-ass point, bro. If I see one of you motherfuckers get unverified, bro, don't ever post no fucking kicks, no whips. I don't give a fuck, bro. You better be posting fucking ramen noodles every day.
I gotta pull this song up. I gotta pull this up.
Yo, that's about to catch people lacking, bro. The amount of artists that are about to be fucking trying to flex on Instagram and get their verification take away because they can't pay $15 a month, bro.
Yeah, you heard it? It's called
about blue checks,
it's
bro?
called Blue Check Capper.
Bro.
I gotta find it. It is on Fame Store, right? That's where I gotta find it. I gotta find this. You gotta hold on a second.
Bro.
Because I was dying.
What's your thoughts on people saying shit's pay to play, though?
Listen to this.
Too. Oh, shit. Bro, the fucking cover. Oh, is that Simpsons or something?
Look.
Yeah, Simpsons. Bro. Wait, play it in the mic. Bro. Who the fuck made this?
This guy Ray Ray.
Jesus fucking Christ.
He's this guy that does these videos where he be going in front of the screen, he'd be like 9 times out of 10. He like 9 times.
Go check the fuck in, cause 9 times out of 10, right now on my timeline, a lot of y'all is looking like, damn. Y'all niggas is blue check.
Bro.
But nah, that shit is. I love seeing new shit like that because it's like a new meme. You know what I mean? It's a new thing because you got to realize like people just get it's like just the new thing to get mad at. You know what I mean? Then something else will happen. They get mad at that and they'll forget about this. You know?
The blue check shit is mad funny though now.
Marketing and how I got so good at it.
Yeah,
Second part of that question. It's a data thing. You know what I mean? We've spent $3 million in ads.
Jesus
between
fucking
all the different
Christ.
platforms in the past 3 years.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And that's why, because it's like I just know. You know what I mean? We've just done so many campaigns that I could just look at something and be like, you know what I mean? Do this instead of do that because I've guaranteed marketed something that sounded similar. You know what I mean? And I have those results. And that's what makes anybody good at it is repetition, putting in your 10,000 hours. You know what I mean? 10 hours a day for 1,000 days is how many hours? That's 10,000. So that, I mean, in everybody's book, I guess that makes me an expert now. You know what I mean?
Jesus Christ. $3 million. That's a lot of fucking money.
A lot of ads.
This is one of my favorite questions.
Yep.
And this is going to be one of the last. This is when we get into the extra gems.
Let's hear it.
Throughout those $3 million in that 3-year span.
Yeah.
Absolute biggest fuck up.
Um,
Or it could be multiple if you got multiple, but just fuck ups that you would advise that you could see other people making, or if it's even just something personal to you, that's your biggest fuck up.
Here's a lesson, right? Fiverr takes 30% of all sales on Fiverr. So your marketing budget, if you buy through Fiverr, is already being cut by 30% plus what the other person is taking. So before we had the ad team, I have a team that works just for me now that fulfills the ads because obviously I'm not sitting here uploading every ad. You know what I mean? Like just today, like I was just texting him probably like 20 minutes ago about a couple different ad updates that I needed because it's 3 people that just all they do is run ads. And before we were using a guy on Fiverr, and I was wondering like why, I didn't have the best prices. You know what I mean? Some people were still able to beat my price. I was wondering why it was because some people got off Fiverr and saved 30%. So that's kind of the biggest thing to understand is not buying ads on Fiverr. And we started working with Fiverr originally before we had an ad team. And it's just not it. You know what I mean? Get an ad. I mean, and it's tough for me to say like my mistake was not getting an ad team because obviously it costs money to have an ad team. But that was the biggest lesson that I had to learn is that Fiverr took 30%. And they took 30% of a whole lot of money out of that $3 million. Probably like 800, 600,000 of it before I got off of Fiverr.
Jesus Christ, bro.
So
Jesus Christ.
that was one of the biggest things. And then the other thing is that inauthentic music is never going to sell. Somebody that's never shot a gun talking about killing people is never going to sell. You know what I mean? It's just not going to work.
Elaborate on that.
Like you gotta live what you do, and it's not like a live what you rap about. Like every person should be out here putting pain in the streets, but it's like if you're making music talking about money that you don't have, women that you don't get, it's never gonna work and click with the people that know you because the people that know you and listen to the song are like, man, what the fuck is he talking about? He doesn't have bitches or money. You know what I mean? What is he talking about in these raps? You know what I mean? It's not something that I can listen to, but if that same person makes something that's true to themselves, they'd have those same people that's like, oh no, this is dope. He's not trying to do too much. He's not trying to seem like he's somebody else. He really putting in an effort towards his music. He's being authentic, and that's what gets people to support it. So I think that just, trying to fake the funk and trying to make the type of music that you think is going to sell is never going to work.
Spitting facts. These last 10, 15 minutes are about to be gems, even though it's already been a majority of it. But 2 more.
Let's hear it.
2 more. How do you stay so on top of everything?
So we just coded a CRM platform. So I just gave the employees on Monday or Tuesday, a new computer program to use to track the customers. So that helps a lot. And just naturally, I'm very on top of things. I'm always working. I keep a couple different sheets, Google Sheets to keep track of things. But honestly, a lot of it is just up here. But we just built in this new CRM, which is I think customer resource management or customer relations management is what it technically stands for. But essentially, what it allows you to store data for our customer. Make sure that if they say, I'm going to be ready on this day or reach back out to me on this day, that the computer program will remind you to reach out to them so that way you can kind of work on a lot more clients. Because at the end of the day, only 30% of the clients on the consultation calls that we take are, 30%, 20%, like how many are serious? You know what I mean? It's like, it's not a high percentage of people that are like serious and ready to go. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, the easier we can track these people that are serious and make sure that we stay on top of them, the better service that we'll be able to give them. So up until this point, we were using Google Sheets, but we just got a CRM coded by the developer that works with us.
Damn. That shit sounds fucking high tech as fuck.
It honestly was pretty. It only took them about a week and a half, and honestly, it wasn't. It was not as crazy as you'd think it was.
Huh.
It was 42 hour. No, it wasn't. It was 26 hours worth of work.
Jesus.
26 hours of work.
That's
for the
not even
developer.
that bad, actually.
But that's just V1. V2 is going to be a whole different story.
How much does it cost to get something like that done?
It's like $40 an hour, however many hours he works.
Damn.
V2 is probably going to be a couple hundred hours, though. So V1 was only 26.
Jesus Christ, bro. Jesus Christ. We tried, we built the server. We have a server on the computer in there now. But I had this old Alienware from middle school in my office.
Oh, okay.
We built the server on it.
Yeah.
That shit lasted like 3 days, and then that computer blue screened and it lost its life. Damn. So, but that shit sounds like some shit I need down the fucking road.
Yeah, we're hosting online right now. We have like an online server hosted that we're using.
That shit's fire.
$20 a month.
That shit is fire. That shit is fire. I'm gonna have to ask you questions about this shit afterwards.
No, I can connect you with the developer. He's a great guy. He's from North Attleboro.
Damn. Oh, actually, I got another question before the last question.
Yeah.
Growing up,
that
part you didn't really talk about too much.
North Attleboro.
How'd you go from North Attleboro to New Jersey?
With the artist that I was working with.
Oh, okay. You did say that. I'm a dumbass. You did say that.
Absolutely.
How old were you when you went to Jersey?
19.
Damn. How old are you now?
26 today.
26.
7 years.
Today. You got to get used to the new age. Let's see how many times you fucked that up in the next couple months.
I was fucking it up the past couple months, still saying 25.
Bro. Bro, I've been doing the same exact shit. But now the golden question.
What's the golden question?
Any artists out there, or you could give two different answers, or you could just give one general one if you want. Artists out there that are trying to get their music heard, like biggest piece of advice, but also somebody who's trying to start marketing people. Say there's someone out there who's trying to market an artist.
There's somebody out there that's trying to be a marketer.
Yeah, I want you to give two different things. Give a piece of advice for the artist and then a piece of advice for somebody who's trying to be a marketer. Piece of advice
for the artist, post a reel every day. Free, simple, easy. After you start getting that in tune, make a 3 to 6 month plan where you line up the next 3 to 6 months of releases. 3 weeks in between each song if there's no video. 5 weeks in between each song if there is a video. After you've gotten consistent with consistent with the reels, start up some type of an ad campaign. I would never fix my broken down car. I would take it to a mechanic. Do not try and run your own ads because you're not an expert. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, unless you want to go through however long it's going to take you to figure out, number one, what even is a good ROI on your ads? What even is a good CPC, CPM, CPV? You know what I mean? What is good data to have? You know what I mean? So unless you want to try and figure all that out on your own, I'd hire a professional, somebody like ourselves is going to take a small portion and spend the rest. And then I would introduce an ad strategy in with the reels. And then if you can afford it, add in some Instagram blogs every couple of days. Piece of advice to somebody that wants to be a marketer. Don't charge people for your time if your time really isn't worth anything. If you've never marketed anybody, if you've never spent millions of dollars on ads, if you've never helped hundreds of artists, you have no true authority. Come in and help an artist out as a manager. Don't try and start some business being a marketing expert when we have no marketing experience behind your back, because that's what's going to get you looked at like you're not taking yourself seriously. At the end of the day, if you don't have years of experience in the music industry, how can you advise an artist truly and wholeheartedly? How can you possibly tell them how to market their music if you've never done it for somebody before? You know what I mean? So I don't really agree with people starting marketing agencies out of nowhere. I understand that people have to start somewhere, but start working for somebody else. Learn the ropes, understand how it goes, learn the business, and then at that point, you can start your own. But to just wake up one day and I want to start a marketing agency because you think it's easy to take $100 from somebody and give $50 to somebody on Fiverr, we just went over what that was. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's probably not what any aspiring marketers wanted to hear, but get a job at a marketing firm, learn the ropes, work with people in the music industry, offer your services for free, make your services worth something. Get on with some artists, come up with some strategies, and then when you have some results, you can use those results to get more clients. But don't lie about the results. Don't lie about people that you've worked with just to get another customer. That's kind of my advice to that. Don't sell dreams. And if you're an artist, don't allow yourself to be sold a dream. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. You know what I mean? If it looks too good to be true, it is too good to be true.
That was. I want you to elaborate on that because this will actually be the last question. How do you advise artists out here? All the times you talked about people being scammed.
Yep.
Give them just the rundown on how to not get scammed.
If somebody emails you, you're going to get scammed. Nobody's ever going to email you anything. if a random person that has no mutuals with you DMs you asking about your music and talking about your music, they didn't really listen to it. And if Fat Joe and them DM you, it's not really them. You know what I mean? Just use common sense. You know what I mean? Think about it. Where could this person have found me? Where could they have stumbled upon my music? Where could they have found my page? How little do they have going on in their daily lives that they can take time out of their day to message me and message however many other artists there is? You know what I mean? And I think the last one is just not to be naive. Don't think that it's, this person is going to help you out just because they have a couple of pictures with some artists. Because anybody can get a picture with a rap artist. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, ask around, ask for previous customers. You know what I mean? Look around, see if they have people engaging with their posts. Look on any one of my posts, you'll see tens of artists, 20, 30, 40 commenting on every post I put up, speaking highly of me. You go on other people's, they don't have that. They have 3, 4, 5. They may have more views than I do because they buy them. You know what I mean? So, and like I said, it's free to have myself or somebody from my team consult with you on your marketing. So take advantage of it. You know what I mean? And to really finish it off, I do this at the end of every podcast that I go on. I don't know if you've watched any of my other podcasts. I haven't. But I did it on the CWTF Choose What the Future Brings. I didn't even know. That's what their name means? Yeah. I didn't even know you did one with them. Oh, yeah, I did one. I love Charlie. Charlie's a great guy. I didn't know you did one with them. I did one with them, and at the end of it, I said, anybody, and I'm going to say it again, anybody that stayed to the end of the interview, DM me, and I'll give you 20% off your marketing campaign, basically making your first one no spend on my end, 100% ad spend. But you had to watch the whole interview to get to this point. And if you did, DM me talking about the 20%, and I'll know what you're talking about. And we'll leave it like that. I got no DMs after the last one. Yeah. So nobody watched to the end. Bro, you know what's funny? Because this is going to be, what, 2 hours? I did that for a while with the merch discount codes, and one person used it in the span of like 6 months. Yep. One person used it. But if you fucking watch this whole thing, you better go fucking get right. Get right. And free consultations. Hey. Either way. See? How long did we go? An hour and 42 minutes. Nice. An hour and 42 minutes. Nice. You got to tag your Instagram so they can know. Or multiple, because I feel like you got... Untitled Export, everything else is in the bio. Untitled Export, everything else is in the bio. Everything else is in the bio. That's easy. I don't got to put a million tags in the description. Just put one and then to be able to find everything else. Y'all know what to do. Click that follow button on Instagram. You guys got a YouTube? Nah, I got to start one, but it's one thing at a time. There's still things that I got to do. But we'll get. If we don't end it, we'll just keep going. Shout out Do Over Don't. Appreciate you, yo. Big shout out. Shout out Ryan bringing me out. Shout out Ryan for getting. Glad we finally got this done. Yeah, I know. I was starting to think you were avoiding me for a while. No, bro. I just have to knock on the door. Ask him, bro. I suck at answering messages, bro. FX. Actually, my first attempt was an email. Bro. Believe it or not. I think I remember that because I saw it like months after. Nah, right. Because I suck at checking email, bro. I'm awful at emails. I'm awful at emails, and I'm awful at DMs. Which DMs I wish I wasn't awful at. Yeah. Text messages I'm best at, but bro. Well, we locked in and we made it happen. We are, bro. Absolutely, my friend. Bro. Thank you, bro. Y'all know the drill. Fucking get right if you made it this far and fucking get some shit from him. Figure out a fucking plan. Don't be no dumbass. Don't go get scammed on Fiverr. Yep. And you lose 30% of your money off the top. Also, like the fucking video if you made it this far and subscribe if you're not subscribed. But go follow that shit. Stay tuned. Next week's episode, Untitled Export this week. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out. Since the ops guns don't work, I bet they legs work. Bitch, I fuck the gang, but she got go down and give head first. Waist is head first. Bitch, I jumped in the streets like head first. I put that switch on the